Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Noah, my baby brother.
Yes, and I'm here with Ben, my geriatric brother.
Hey, that's Mr. Geriatric to you. All right, this time I actually came prepared. I brought some questions instead of just making it up. I actually wrote some things out.
You should scoot your computer further over. I mean, the other way.
Why? What's going on?
That was not the shot. It's blocking you.
Oh, that's fine. All right. If you're done with your interruptions. So I have a list of questions here, and I'm just going to fire away. Noah can answer which ones he wants to, or he can say pass, and we'll come back around to that question, or we'll just let it go completely. I thought it could be interesting to run through some actually predetermined questions and whatnot, instead of just being a terrible, terrible host. I'm trying to get better at being a host, so we'll try it this way this time.
The better host you are, the more parasites will love you.
All right. Are you ready to get her going? First off, how are you doing this evening, Noah?
I'm hanging in there.
You doing well?
Life is tough, but I'm hanging in there.
All right. I feel that. And what are we drinking? What kind of tea is that?
Chamomile tea with a little bit of milk.
Okay. A little cream?
Mm-hmm.
A little cream in there? A little honey?
Milk. No honey. I don't have honey. And I don't have cream. So
are you using a sweetener, or are you just having it with the milk?
Sugar.
Okay. I don't do the pure sugars. I'm a honey guy, and I try to limit that a bit, but because I've pretty much kicked all sugar.
I'd like to get some cane sugar, but right now it is just straight up sugar.
Have you ever tried the coconut sugar?
I haven't, and I probably won't.
You should. Do you like coconut?
I don't.
Then you shouldn't try it. You will not like it. Do not try the coconut sugar. And on that note, all right, so the first section is family and legacy. Is the first category. Or should I give you the categories like Jeopardy, and then you can pick which one you want to go with?
Just ask your question.
Okay. Family and legacy. What's one thing that Dad taught you that stuck the most? And answer at your leisure. Leisure?
Depends where you are. I'd say resilience.
Ooh. Good answer. So it's a one-word answer, but I appreciate it. I think it's a good one. Would you like to?
You want to elaborate? All right.
Yeah, elaborate on that a little bit.
So when we were on Sumner Island, you remember that massive Pebble Beach?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I saw it immediately. You
know
of course.
Exactly. I know every inch of that island.
So one evening we were there. It was same place you lost your ring. And I found your ring that you lost. I found it on the beach.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Which was a miracle that you found that. How you found it?
No, it wasn't a miracle. It was reasonable deduction. I simply gridded off the beach of anywhere you had stepped and just went to the foot.
When you hit it before the tide came back, too.
Well,
so if the tide came back, it would have been gone.
No, because it was a ring. It wouldn't have floated away.
Those tides, they pull really hard.
The only concern would have been being buried. Anyway,
they pull logs out.
So Dad took me to the beach. I was out there. I just finished Tai Chi and my meditation and everything. Dad came out and everyone was like relaxing and whatnot. And he came out and we were talking. And he just leaned down. We were like skipping stones. I know it's just one of those stupid memories, right? And he sat there, and I was talking about how when you are where you want to be and who you want to be, right? And he's like, well, and he reaches down and picks up a handful of pebbles, and he goes through and he finds one. It's like little blackish gray with had this little line in it, this little white line, right? And he took it, and he's like, okay. And he hands me this. He's like, take a look at that. And I sit there and I look at it. And he's like, do you know that rock? And I'm like, yes. And I flip it over and I just look at it. He's like, so, can you describe it to me with your eyes closed? I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay. And he takes it from me and goes, and zings it behind me down the beach. He's like, go find it. I'm like, okay. So I turn around and I start pacing the beach looking for it. I think I was out there about 4 hours looking for the rock. And Gabe came up and just one of those like, hey, just wondering where you were type things, right? He left. And then Dad came up later. And he sat there and he's like, you're still looking for that stone, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am. He's like, okay, I expected you to have given up. And I'm like, I haven't found the rock. You told me to find the rock. And it's like, it's not about the rock. It's about that you didn't give up. Let's go eat.
Very kung fu.
Mm-hmm.
Very Kwai Chang Caine. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good one. It was that whole lesson he expected.
Dad was full of those kind of
I
lessons.
didn't,
A lot of people might not realize just how deep Dad actually was.
Yeah. And it was at that point, the resilience of not giving up.
Right. It was both a point and a test.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. All right. What's something that you do now that you swore you'd never do as a kid? Something that when you were a kid, you swore, I'll never do that when I'm an adult, but you do that now. And it could be a one-time thing that you've done once, or it could be something that's like a daily thing that you never thought you would ever do, or that you swore you would never do.
Live alone. Be lonely. Get broken.
Okay, don't really need to elaborate on that one. And I sort of forgot who I was asking these questions to. I forgot we were here with Edgar Allan Poe, so some of these could get
You're
deep
asking
and
questions,
dark.
man.
That's true. And I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate that you've always been that way, though. Like, there's no pretense to when you answer a question. Like, you just answer the question. So that's cool.
Yep. And then sometimes regret it later.
But you'll never know later because you won't ever rewatch it. So, all right.
When I was a kiddo, I always said I'd be the guy. I'm like, my wife had better know me well enough someday to be able to walk up and know that if I'm asked, do these pants make me look fat? You're going to get an honest answer.
Right. All righty. So, what's your favorite memory of all of us together growing up? Or, because it's hard to answer favorite memory questions, or what's one memory from your childhood that you wish you could relive? So either way you want to take that one.
Kind of like an about time situation where I can just warp back there and relive the moment.
Sure.
Epic movie, by the way. The birth of Eli.
You weren't a child.
Well, childhood. You didn't say mine.
I mean, you're twisting you're playing a little Rumpelstiltskin over there with the question, because the question is about our childhood.
Our childhood.
It's
You didn't say our childhood. Okay.
I didn't I? What's something you wish you? No, that's the other one. What's your favorite memory of all of us together growing up?
Oh, okay. I thought you
or
split.
if you could relive one of those memories,
two separate questions. Okay.
Which one would it be?
Okay, I follow now.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
I
thought I wrote it right.
Okay, I follow now. Okay. That'd be a hard one. I'm going through them right now, and it's just.
For me, it'd be almost impossible to answer that question because it's all of them is really the answer. But go ahead.
Well, with the favorite memory, it has to be all of them. But I would say for the reliving. Haynes. We were in Haynes, and it was after we came back from one of the trips on the Morning Star, and a bear had broken into the house up on the house. And so Dennis let us stay at his rent house.
I remember that.
Rent house.
I remember that.
Until we got our house fixed back up. Which was super nice. That was such a nice house. It was the first place I ever saw like a Lazy Susan in the cabinet. Remember? That was like so weird.
The cabinets were very well made. It was a really well put together house. Yeah.
It was right around Christmas time, which is why Dennis let us.
I remember.
So that we didn't have to spend Christmas and everything. Anyway, that Christmas.
Nice. I believe I was 16.
Were you 16?
I think I just turned 16.
Like 8 years older than that. That checks out.
Alrighty, so that's a good one because that was a fun Christmas.
That or the Christmas that we had in the house in Haynes when I got that stuffed animal that Dad and I painted the walls and everything.
I might should bring this a little closer to you because
so I talk kind of quietly.
You do talk quietly. All right.
I'll just say a Christmas in Haynes.
Nice. All right, you are going to have to give me 1 second to check something out. Okay, just tell me something, Noah. Tell me something about yourself, kid.
Well, my name is Noah D.C. Brown. I was born and raised in the deep bush of Alaska. I was actually born in Juneau on Douglas Island. It was a midwife's house. She was actually renting the house, but it was a house rented by a midwife. I was born there. It was blue at the time. And on the way back from me being born, my parents were like, you know what? I want some chicken. And that chicken, I've heard more stories about the chicken that they got on the way back from me being born than I ever heard about me actually being born. That must have been some darn good chicken.
They had some really good chicken, I will say that.
It was the Hearts, right?
It was good chicken. It was very good chicken.
Which is funny because that means everyone had to go the opposite way to get the Hearts chicken and then go to the midwives.
All right. So next question. All right. Where was I? Right, we're still on family and legacy. How do you explain your childhood, or our childhood, to your kids? Or do you? Like, do they know our childhood was vastly different than most people's? I'm not going to say the normal, because there's no such thing. There's just mass consensus, but then the average.
Originally, to be able to kind of explain it, we simply watched Tarzan.
Okay.
But then when I took Eli to Alaska, he understood it a little bit more.
Right, because he got a little bit of
experience.
And we just
explained that I had it differently. That it wasn't how it is here. That we were more wild, and I just go into a lot of detail and tell him stories and everything.
Nice.
And it wasn't until actually he went to Alaska, which he loves Alaska and just dying to get back, kind of like me, until he really understood. Because Eli's been there.
Right.
I took Eli to Browntown.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a dangerous decision. It was a couple of years ago. The logging roads were all destroyed, and where that creek was.
Well, we did a lot of work opening all that up and fixing that.
And once we left, just nature claimed it back.
That's what happens. Happens. Alrighty, so that makes sense. You just tell them the stories.
And I took him to the house that I was born in.
Nice.
And gave him some DeHart's chicken.
And Adam's
chicken.
And Adam's really too young to
Yeah, he doesn't understand.
Really get it.
No.
He barely knows where he is. Right? He's like, all right. I mean, he's a sharp kid, but he's what? He's like 1.5.
He's 3.
Oh, he's 3. Okay, they're growing up so fast.
Yeah, he's 3 and Eli's 6.
Dang. Yep, they'll be going off to college and screaming, "I hate you," and slamming doors soon. All right. Hopefully not, but you never know. I can't help but wonder what tattoos they'll have when they grow up. It's something that I always wonder when I'm like talking to a kid. It's like, I wonder what tattoos you're going to get someday.
Yeah, I'll buy him his first one.
It tends to run in the family. All right, and some of y'all got a little more out there than some of us.
I think tattoos are just a disgusting thing that people do.
Yeah, you would never have like your whole back covered or anything.
I would never.
For sure, definitely not. I used to think that I was going to be one of the more tattooed in the family, and some of y'all just went too far. I had to go on really far to keep up.
Bear went out and set out specifically.
He was always that guy, though. He always drew his characters and stuff when he was a kid with all the tats. Yeah, he's just always been that way. All right, enough about tattoos.
Or is that on the question there?
No, that was a spur of the moment. That was a freebie. All right. When did you first realize that Dad wasn't like other dads? In the ways that Dad wasn't like other dads. I think you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
His dad was a very unique fella.
So I guess it's one of those weird things, because for the first part of my life, the only real example of other dads would be off of movies.
Right, that's true.
But because of how differently everything was portrayed on movies from how we grew up, it just was all fiction. Like, even the way the other dads were.
Right.
So I guess, I don't know. I guess I kind of always knew that we were lucky to be how we were and everything. I can't think of an exact moment, really. That's an interesting question.
I thought so. I thought that
That's
was a
an
good
interesting
question.
one. Let's
I
come
thought it was
back
a
to
good
that
question.
one.
All right. Pass and we'll come back around.
Yeah. Do you want like a pen to
Is,
mark our questions?
No, I'm good. So, because it is something that I remember having a bit of, I kind of recollect realizing the way Dad was. And it wasn't so much from being around other dads per se, but it was really just seeing other people, you
Right.
know? And we weren't around a lot of people, but the people we were around, it was very obvious that, like, Dad was not the average guy. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
And so I remember being really little and kind of realizing that. And I have this one particular memory of, I think I was sitting on the end of a dock or something. Dad's talking to someone. He's got his leg up on the side of the skiff and he's, you know, doing this Dad thing. And I just kind of looked over at the other person and I looked at Dad. And I looked over at the other person and looked at Dad and just kind of realized that, you know, wait a minute, my old man's a superhero. You know, kind of feeling, you know.
Yeah, I think I just always realized that
having Grizzly Adams as a dad, you know.
Yeah.
And then some. All right. Moving on to the next category. Life on the show.
Ooh, okay.
So these might be a lot of passes for Noah. We'll see. Okay. Life on the show. What was the weirdest thing about filming?
About filming or about having filmed, or like just in general?
In general, the whole in general the whole thing. What was the weirdest thing about being involved with the show, being on camera? What was the weirdest aspect of our life being documented in that way? But in the actual filming, not like things that came about because of the show. What was the weirdest thing about being filmed?
People wanting to hear what I had to say.
That was the weirdest thing?
Yes.
People wanting to hear what you had to say. Would you like to elaborate?
Okay, so when doing OTFs and interviews and stuff, they wanted me to talk as opposed to telling me to shut up. I wasn't used to that. Because usually, growing up, when I start talking, because I'm very passionate about subjects I like, usually people get bored, they get annoyed, and I learned very young to be able to catch when people are like you losing interest, which happens all the time. And so I just kind of put it out.
I think you overplayed that a little bit though, because I know there have been times when you were talking to me, especially when you were like a younger teenager, and I was like, you know, I'm listening, I'm investing in what you're telling me, and then you would just like kind of taper off and stop.
Yeah, because I knew that people were
like
not.
But they weren't. And it's like, because I'm sitting there like, yes, well, keep going.
Well, there are of course those occasions, but I guess it would be people. Like I don't know.
The attention,
I guess I wasn't used
sole attention.
Yeah,
camera on you, just you.
The fifth born son.
Right, the solo attention was weird.
That was weird. Yeah.
Was it difficult to?
The interest in what I was doing was weird.
Okay, was it difficult to adapt to answering the questions and stuff? I'm going off track here, but was it difficult to adjust to answering the questions?
It was difficult to be able to give my answer in a time frame that they were looking for.
In a concise manner.
Right, because I tend to ramble, and a way that I talk is I will start with something that sounds negative and then turn it into a positive and finish out what I'm saying, and it all loops back around. Mm-hmm. But if I don't have enough time to be able to do that, it's more difficult.
Right.
So hence a lot of my one-word answers.
Okay. Well, and you're talking to somebody that's like, I'm kind of like a character who's written by Tarantino, because I have a tendency to go all over the place and then circle back around and make a point, which I always say the journey is worth it. It's the journey, not the destination. So if you hold on, we'll eventually get there. But I know what you mean, because that was actually a problem for me as well. Now, I had two problems. Either I did that and I do the Tarantino thing and take too long, or I was just too Corbin
exactly.
Dallas. I would just say the thing and they'd be like, we need a little more than that.
No,
What was the
can
thing
you
with me? It's
elaborate?
like, can you go a little deeper? Because I would just have like one word answers.
Having to repeat their question before answering their question.
Oh, because you have to do the lead in so people know what you're talking
Correct,
about.
because no one hears the interviewer's
Right.
question.
And there's a way to answer questions when you're on TV so that people
Correct.
can understand that you're answering the question. Otherwise, nobody could follow what you were saying.
Precisely.
And there's a formula to that. Whereas you're still saying your answer and everything. It's not contrived.
It's not altering
you
the answer.
Saying,
it's merely repeating the question.
It's you asking yourself the question is kind of what it is. It's like if you have to phrase your answer as if you're asking yourself the question.
Exactly.
What is Lake Superior? You know, that kind of thing. Right. No, I get what you're saying.
That was weird.
What?
That's
that
answer.
aspect?
That
right. I got you. And now if y'all guys go back and watch not just our show, but reality shows in general, you'll notice that it's a thing that you do have to phrase things in a way to which the viewer understands what you're saying, which makes sense.
We'll give an example with the next question.
Yeah, here's an example. Well, actually, we'll just do it with the same question, and then we'll move on to the next one. Or we can just do the next question.
Yeah,
that works better. All right.
Or just ask me an off-the-wall question.
What did people never get to see that you wish they had?
Okay, so if we were filming on the show, you wouldn't hear that.
Right.
So then I would have to ask the question, which would be... Okay, so we ask the question.
The question is, what did people never get to see that you wish they had?
Something that people never got to see, but I wish that I had have seen, would definitely be a bit more of the... And that's how you do it.
And that's how it's done, folks.
That's how it's done, right? You go into it by...
Not to give too much away of how the pie is baked, but that's how it's done.
That's the weirdest thing.
Right. I get that.
That's the weirdest thing.
For me, that wasn't weird at all. For some reason, it's very easy, and it's something that I think I actually talk that way in general. I think I just have a tendency to do that. So for me, it's not a big deal. All right. So what is one thing that people never got to see that you wish they had?
Dad meet Adam. He never got to. So not only do people not get to see it, but I didn't even get to.
Okay, well, again, I get the sentiment, but you're twisting the question, so we are going to re-ask that one, because the idea...
Like when I Rumpelstiltskin him.
The idea is of our life that we were living, being filmed while filming.
Okay.
What didn't get covered of our life that you wish had of?
I don't know. I've never seen the show.
Okay, I will accept that answer because he has never seen the show. So he wouldn't really know what was or was not included. So I guess it would be difficult for him to answer that question. So we will move on from there. You got away with it on that one. All right. I knew these life on the show questions were going to be difficult for Noah. All right. Was there a moment on camera that was way harder than it looked? Again, he's never seen the show, so he wouldn't know how hard it looked, but you get the idea of the question. Or does this one also just not apply since you've technically never seen the show? Because I know there were multiple times when I was doing something on the show and I would have to, like, let's say, haul 45,000 boards up the beach. And I would do that for a good 2 hours, hauling all these boards and everything up the beach and be filmed the entire time that I'm doing it. And then I would see the episode and it goes like that. It just disappears. It's just 30 seconds. You see 30 seconds. Now I get it. How long can you watch a guy haul boards up a beach, right? Nobody's going to watch a 2 hour long episode of a guy just hauling boards up the beach. But that's an aspect of it that you don't see. So again, I'm not really even covering my question perfectly. But it is something that goes into the show that was harder than people realize because you'd watch that and think it wasn't a big deal when in fact it was. It was difficult to do.
I actually have an answer for your question.
Do you? All right, fire away.
Something that was more difficult than people realized from the show was putting up with my siblings' shenanigans.
And we will accept that answer because that is a valid answer. Definitely a valid answer, and I actually want to second that because that answer was better than mine.
Is that knuckle bust worthy?
Right. I think that is. And sometimes you were the sibling. And sometimes so was I.
I never said who I was talking about.
Okay. Let's see. What's a behind-the-scenes story that still cracks you up? Something that you still laugh about when you think about it. A behind-the-scenes thing that is still hilarious.
So something that happened while filming that wasn't caught on camera.
A behind-the-scenes, but something that still gives you a chuckle when you think about it. And this is Noah, so hold on.
Well, these are difficult ones because we did it for 11 years. So it was
a little longer.
Lot of time.
A little longer than that.
Okay, so we were in Browntown, and everyone was filming over by the MASH tent and the Trapper Shack area. And I was hanging out with Dad, and I had gone in, and Dad was doing some cutting down a tree and whatnot, and there was one that had fallen over, and it was limited and cutting it out for some firewood. And I had gone in, and I was coming back out, and I was about to head over to take care of my stuff. And I noticed Dad, and he wasn't, like, talking or anything. He just kind of, like, waved his hand. And I walk up, and what's up? And he's like, come here. And I walk up, and he's sitting there, and he's sitting there as one of his knees on the log, and the other one's on the other side of the log. And it was, like, these two trees that he had dropped. He's like, so how's your leg doing? I'm like, it's good. And he's like, okay. He looks over where everyone's filming, and he kind of leans in. He's like, I accidentally pinned my leg in between these two logs when I was limbing it. It rolled, and my leg is stuck. And I'm like, okay, I'll go get everyone. And he grabs me by the shirt, pulls me, and he's like, no. He's like, you're going to lift it off my leg because this is unbelievably embarrassing. I'm like, can I go get Gabe? And he's like, no, you can do it. So I sit there, and it's not a super big tree, right? And I sit there, and it's nonchalant, and I look around. He's like, here's the chainsaw. I set the chainsaw aside. Let's get down. I, like, lift the thing up. And it's off his leg, and then we walk in. It scraped up his leg a little bit, but he was fine. That's something that cracks me up every time because he's Dad.
Right.
Like, macho of macho.
Well, there's a difference also between lifting something in the position you're
there's
standing.
no way he could have lifted it because of the way his leg was stuck under it. He couldn't have gotten a purchase on it to lift it. Right? But the thing that's hilarious is macho of macho.
When you lift from the ground, so your leg.
He felt it was embarrassing because of who he is that he got his leg stuck.
Right.
It was unbelievably hilarious. And as we were walking back, he was like limping a little bit. As we were walking back, he was actually laughing. And we had started laughing on the way back. And I mean, like, just how ridiculous it is. And anyway, we sat down on the table and we talked about it. And it was the same type of thing. It's like, yeah, if I was in the forest stuck, it would have been a very bad situation. I'm like, well, what would you have done? It's like, I started with a chainsaw and continued.
I was about to say he would just cut his leg out.
Right.
Yeah, but that would be the more dangerous move than just having somebody help you to get you out. Because the first thing I thought was, if you were alone,
cut yourself loose.
That's all you could do. You'd have to just cut it.
So that's something that's from it.
Not the leg, the log.
It's a behind-the-scenes thing that makes me just
Just I mean, that is funny, and I could hear that happening. I could hear Dad saying that. Yeah.
He's grasping me by the shirt. He's like, no.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anyway. All right. One more on the life on the show. How did being on TV change how you see the family?
I've never seen the show.
All right, that is a valid answer because he's never seen the show. And it's unprofessional for a guy that's been on a show for how long to leave his phone not on silent?
So, my kiddos.
Okay, good excuse. I'll accept that. We will accept that excuse. Life does not stop for the podcast. And you may have noticed we're a very rough and tumble podcast around here. One of these days, we'll get more than one microphone. All righty. Speaking of your kids.
It's almost bedtime for them. Give me 1 second.
Oh, all good.
Good night, Eli. Good night, Adam. I love you. Good night, Adam. Good night, Eli. I hope you had an amazing day. I love you. More. Shut up.
I didn't say anything. All right, are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect timing for us to move into parenting.
Are you
and
serious?
Brotherhood. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's the
No,
next
literally, my mother
category.
texted me.
All right. What's one lesson from our childhood you've passed on to your kids? I'm sure there's more than one, but just what's one lesson that you've passed on to your kids that was passed on to us as kids?
Ooh.
Thought it was a good one.
I passed down all of the lessons.
That's what I just said. I'm
All
sure
of them.
there's a lot
So
of them. So,
picking
like,
out
just pick one.
Is
Doesn't even have to be the most important. Just what's one lesson that you've taught them that you were taught, that we were taught as kids? What's a lesson from our childhood that you've passed on to your kids?
how to hold a knife.
Okay.
I gave Eli his first actual knife when we were in Alaska. It was
Nice.
It was one of the last knives on the line that Dad worked with, the guy up there that made knives.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of his last knives. He passed away, and they had some of them left, and I was able to talk the person out of one, and so I gave that to Eli as a present. He only uses it with me, and I've been teaching him how to use it.
Nice.
So that goes into proper survival skills.
Okay. I'll accept that. That's a good one. All righty. How has being a parent changed how you think about our upbringing? Is there anything from our upbringing that you view differently now that you're a dad?
I do. I now see everything instead of just from my point of view. I also see it from Dad's point of view.
Makes sense. Do you need a moment?
No,
we can take a break.
I look at a lot of things differently now because of it, and it makes me realize what Mom and Dad were going through during all of it. See, when I took Eli up to Alaska to be able to find a piece of property, a lot of the time, especially when I took him out to Browntown and there was no film crew around, that was just he and I, it made me change the perspective of some of my memories and be able to see it more from Dad's point of view.
Okay. And give you a deeper appreciation for everything that they went through and everything the way they tried to raise us, and and all the things that entails in that world.
Exactly.
You realize how difficult some of the stuff we might have overlooked as kids, or even as adults looking back. As a parent, you realize what that would have been like and must have been like for Dad.
Mm-hmm. Every time he put me on his shoulders, that it was, depending on the age, that was like a 30 or 40 pound rucksack on his back.
And probably with you talking like that, probably both the difficult and the joyous aspects.
Definitely. I have a video on my phone that I treasure that is of Eli on the island up in Alaska, our island, and he's sitting there and he's eating berries. There's huckleberries up there, and then he's sitting there eating berries. And I was just sitting there enjoying watching him eat them. And one of the coolest things was when we actually were on the island, we went in, and the first time going in, he walks up and just sits in one of the chairs in the little house up on the island, and he sits there and he kicks off his shoes, and he's like, "Daddy, can I have a snack?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I sit there and I give him the snack, and he's like, "So when can we bring Mommy and Brother here?" It was just instant home.
Right.
And the joy of being able to see how at ease he was. He didn't know how dangerous the area was or anything, but the ease of it, that enjoyment of the sweet, innocent, he's unbelievably freaking adorable, and everything that you get. And I think of a couple times in my childhood where I would look over and Dad just be staring at me. Just like no matter what was going on, he's cleaning a rifle or something, just be sitting there staring at me. And I just kind of smile and wave at him, and he just kind of chuckle and keep doing what he was doing. I've had so many of those moments with Eli and with Adam that I understand more from the perspective of them. It's the worry, it is the love, it's the care, it is... I've gotten way off topic, I think. But it's the entire thing. It is parenthood.
Right, and it gives you
get a deeper respect for what all they went through in order to be able to make sure we didn't die in the forest.
Right. And gives you a different appreciation for the moments that must have meant a lot to them. That to us was just, nothing. It was just a moment in time for us, but to them it was like a big deal to see us, living our life and growing up and doing what we were doing.
Exactly.
Nice. All right. Which one of us would survive the longest with no gear? No fair saying yourself. And obviously Dad's not in the equation. We're talking just the brothers.
So just the brothers?
Well, I guess and the sisters. All the siblings. Let me rephrase. Of all the siblings, not including yourself, which one would last the longest stuck in the wild with no gear?
Okay, so when you say no gear, you mean no gear at all, like you're just butt naked? Or do you have shoes?
No.
Because technically shoes are gear.
Okay.
Do you have a knife? Knives are gear. Do you have your glasses?
No,
technically glasses are gear, so if you don't have your glasses
is not gear. It's something that I always have. Gear is something that you would take with you into a survival situation. If it's not something that you readily have on you currently, which even with us, that does apply to carrying certain survival things. I think I have waterproof matches on me right now. Right. So we'll just say you're fully clothed. If you need glasses or a hearing aid, you got that on you, but nothing else.
Okay, so then basically everyone has minimal survival gear on them.
I just said fully clothed.
Which means
nothing in your pockets.
Gear. Oh, no, nothing in the pockets?
No.
Okay.
You got your clothes, you got your glasses or hearing aids, you got your shoes, or boots, or whatever you want to wear. Nothing else. Go.
There's a lot to take into account there. Body fat percentage for how long it takes to skedarve. Well, there's a lot to take into account for a question like that.
Well, also the fact that most of us could just go out like that and just live there.
Right.
That's
what I'm saying. It's not you last 4 weeks. It's like, no.
Okay,
like,
allow me to rephrase, and this is actually more what I meant. Well, allow me to rephrase, and this is actually more what I meant. Who would it be the easiest for?
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
There you go. That's more what I meant. Not who would last the longest. Who would it be the easiest for? Who would do it the easiest? Be it to go out there and just live that way with nothing, pioneer style. You just go into the woods and live.
Well, there'd be no sushi, so you wouldn't make it.
Well, it depends where you're talking about the wild, because there's a lot of sushi in Alaska.
Depends if you can make them. That's a.
And I do prefer most of my food cooked. I'm more a steak man myself.
We all have pretty much the same survival training. That's.
And I'm feeling this is a pass then.
This is a really difficult one.
All right, we can move along.
Well, yeah, because you have to take into account of everything. So that's a really difficult question. That's a good question.
All right.
And then, of course, if I don't say him, he's going to get upset.
So. No, I mean, all the questions is just to be honest. That's what this is about. All right. What is a moment recently that you realized, wait a minute, dang it, I'm turning into Dad?
I had to put on my knee brace this morning.
That is exactly where my mind went, because when I wrote the question, I was thinking to myself that it's like probably the left knee when it starts giving out.
Yeah, when I had to put on my knee brace and someone said something, I'm like, what?
It's a Brown thing. Our left knee goes out and then our hearts explode when we get a little bit older. But other than that, we're tip top.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe some neck issues depending on what you've been through in your life.
Yeah, I would
Which
say.
didn't used to be a problem for me, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, I would say when the whole.
Okay, other than injuries and getting older and cutting yourself trying to chop an onion, what's another place that you feel like
cut himself that often.
Oh, sure he didn't. That that you feel you've turned into Dad, like whether it's parenting or mindset or anything. What's something that it really harkens back to Dad that you do now, or something you say or anything?
Well, I see him in reflections occasionally. like distorted window reflections for a moment to all think it's that and it's me, which is really trippy.
Never saw that with a goatee, but I get your point. Actually, I take that back. I did see him with a goatee once. It was a very short-lived thing, but I did see that with a goatee.
That's cool. I think it just have to be with the kids. It'd just be when I'm playing with Eli and Adam. It's like no matter how much I'm hurting, no matter what I'm doing, it's like growing up. There was always those times we'd be like playing with Dad and everything, and he'd just like put his hand on his knee and like stand up, and like the way that you could tell he was. Now I can tell he was like in pain, but he just still played the whole bit. So I'd say that.
Well, most people don't realize just how much Dad had gone through in his life. You know, anybody else would have just been laying on the ground screaming. And even from the time we were kids, let alone in his later life.
And on Dad's Day, this last one, I had Eli and Adam for the weekend, and we were playing some video games, and we were sitting on the bed, right? Because I've got my TV at the foot of my bed and whatnot. And I was sitting there, and Eli and Adam wanted to cuddle up, and so I made them this little. I put the pillows by him, and I had them right beside me, where the wall was here, and I had right beside me, and another one here, and I made this little pillow blanket for them so they feel safe and snugly and everything. Which is the exact same thing Dad did for me.
Right. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. Philosophical and reflective is our next category. Noah's probably going to love this one. And I might need you to talk more directly into the mic because even as close as it is to you, I think it's picking me up better. All right, so philosophical and reflective. And if you need a moment, we can take a break.
What's your questions?
What does freedom mean to you now?
It's just another word for nothing left to lose. It's freedom from everything. Freedom's when literally life is beating you down so much that you're just like, to heck with it. Who cares? I literally have nothing left. It's freedom from the burdens of all of that. But not quoting a song, I would say that freedom is literally being able to do what you want. Not having to worry about what time it is, or whether or not I can play a song. Not having to worry about what the neighbors will think. Freedom is unrestrained.
Alrighty.
But also the first thing.
That works. I've often said that freedom is no one being able to tell you when to stand up or when to sit down. Which is a really easy way to sum up. Alrighty. Give me 1 second because I think I typoed this. Okay, you'll love this one. If you could go back and talk to your 15-year-old self, what would you say? Besides giving yourself financial advice and invest in Apple, what would you say?
I think an appropriate thing to be able to say.
Yes, let's keep it appropriate.
How limited am I on what to say? Do I have like a word limit, or is it I get to sit down? How long do I have to be able to talk to myself? How long?
Let's sum it up.
Let's give some more defined.
You get to sit down with yourself for a couple minutes and say something. You get a couple paragraphs. A quick little blah 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 to the kid. Just one piece of advice.
Oh, advice.
It doesn't have to be advice. It's
Well,
anything.
I'd sit down and I'd give him the times and dates when we found out that mom had cancer. I'd warn him.
I
about
just said
it.
nothing like that. We're not talking time-altering things. We're talking like, what would you say to your 15-year-old self? I thought it was going to go inspirational, is what I thought. I thought it was going to be one of those like, it'll be okay, kid. You know, kind
I'm
of.
not going to lie.
It is okay.
It's okay.
It's always okay.
It's okay.
Everything's always okay.
Everything's okay.
Everything's always okay.
I would not lie
Until
to
you're
myself
dead.
like that. No.
What would you do?
Get
it together, man!
I'm more honest now to myself than I have ever been.
One thing I'd be like, what were you thinking?
No.
That hair. This is another pass. All right, we're going to pass this question.
Well, it's...
Possibly circle back around. We'll see. Because he has no idea. This is what he'd say to his 15-year-old self. He doesn't know. If he can't give gambling advice, he would have no idea what to say.
It's a difficult one.
All righty. Okay, so we're moving on to the next question. What scares you now that didn't back then? And by back then, I mean like when we were kids, our old life, growing up. Now that you're older, now that you're an adult, now that you're a parent, what scares you now that didn't back then?
Well, now you added, now that I'm a parent, so that does include things. Does that include things that have to do with my children?
It's an aspect of your life, so I guess so, but I don't want to get too deep into that because that opens up a whole nother door because you're probably afraid of everything when it comes to your kids, like anything. Cause,
the moment between a breath.
Like,
when you're sitting there
all right,
watching,
so let's just say you in general. Let's not add parenthood. Just you in general. Like, have you developed a phobia of spiders? Wait, you already had that. Have you developed a phobia?
I believe in desensitization.
Desensitization?
Yes.
Okay.
Controlled. So I actually fear less now than I did when I was younger.
All right.
I intentionally do things that I'm afraid of or that bother me. Dude, I was massively
so is there
afraid
anything...
of heights, and I started becoming a pilot.
Right.
I was afraid of spiders, and so I kept a brown recluse in a jar and fed it daily. I was afraid of snakes, so I got my son a pet snake that I handle with my bare hands.
Okay, so you
I fear less
force
now,
yourself to confront the fear. So there's nothing now besides...
nowadays.
Okay.
I fear way.
So the only fear that you have now that you didn't before is pertaining to being a parent.
Correct.
Something happening to your kids, something like that. Something that
New
you
fears
can't
unlocked.
control, or
Exactly.
So as soon as you start mastering your own fear of the world, it was like, here, have this new box of possibility of horrible things that could happen that you can be afraid of.
Precisely.
There you go. All right. You get my meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One that I've never conquered, though, I don't know if I'm going to be able to conquer it, is therophobia.
Therophobia. Fear of therapy.
The fear of deep water that you can't see into. The fear that something large
I don't get
might
that.
come out of the
I don't get that one. I've heard that a lot of people have that, and I thought it was the fear of therapy you were talking about. I don't get the fear of the deep water thing because I find it comforting.
You find it comforting?
Comforting.
Allow me, if I may. You're floating in the ocean.
I've been there.
You look down.
Mm-hmm.
You can see about 50, 60 feet underneath you.
More than once, yep.
And then it's just too murky to see.
You just described a vast amount of my childhood.
And beyond that, you look down, and all of a sudden you see the shimmer of eyes. Large eyes.
Had that happen too.
And then a massive maw opens and just engulfs you.
Well, that's a fear of sea monsters, not a fear of deep water.
Therophobia.
So it's a fear of sea monsters then.
It's a fear of deep water and the unknown that might be in it.
Okay, because I've heard it. That
You're
people
saying
are like,
that doesn't give you anxiety just
not
thinking
at all,
of it.
Not at all, no. But
dude, I can't play Subnocturna, the video game where you're in the sub thing. I can't go into water in video games.
Okay. No, I'm totally different than that and I've heard that this
which
fear,
is weird because I love swimming.
Well, I've heard this fear bothers some people, like if they're staring at an anchor chain that goes down like into the water and it's super deep and the chain just kind of disappears off into the distance. As
long as I'm not in the water, that's fine.
Okay.
It's fine in the water is the problem.
All right. No, because there was actually a place in Alaska that had a float dock. It was not connected to land. It's a float dock, and it was anchored out in the in the water. And I would play off of the dock. As a kid, I was probably 7, 8. No, probably 8-ish. And I would dive off the water, off the dock. And this is freezing water. I could only do it so long. Like, they wouldn't let me do it all day or anything. But like, would dive off of the edge of the dock. And I remember looking down into the water, looking at the chains under the dock that went down and disappeared into the murky depths. And I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And I find a peace in that, actually. It's very peaceful. I find it like really like very zen.
Up in Haynes, do you remember the Tadpole Pond and the old quarry?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the Abyss?
Mm-hmm. Again, super peaceful.
I think that's where I actually get unlocked.
Super peaceful. So peaceful though. Like, how can that? It's so peaceful
because there's no telling what's in it.
It's part of what I like.
I'm fine with bears, moose, all that stuff. And it's the things in the water that scare me.
Okay.
Healthy fear.
All right. Next question. This is the last one in this category. What does respect the danger mean to you?
Well, when I think of respect the danger, it makes me imagine like danger is a person and its name is Respect. It's like a cartoon character. You're walking along, and this anime cartoon person walking along, and then there's a rake, or you're gonna fall off a cliff, and all of a sudden the person jumps out and like, "Oh, be careful!" And it's Respect because he's the danger. He's like warning you. It's like a Smokey the Bear type character.
Okay, I'll accept that. All right.
It's funny. I want to get to sketch it now.
All right. So now, last category: wild card and fun.
Respect the danger.
So these are just fun wild card questions. All right. What's the dumbest thing we ever argued about? And this would be really hard to narrow down because we've argued about some pretty dumb stuff. What's the dumbest thing we ever argued about?
We as in you and I, or we as in the family?
No, we as in us kids. I guess we could include Dad in that too, but like, Dad never argues.
That settled the arguments. Who? Dumbest thing we ever argued about.
Stop the tapping. That's going to be really annoying to people.
Sorry.
It's like all of us have a tendency to like tap the table and like emphasize by doing things like this.
It's because like we're on the piano.
It's like we all need to knock that off, though. It's like, let's stop doing that.
Dumbest thing we've argued about. I don't know. All of y'all's arguments are just stupid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. If you could think of a motto that our family would have besides the ones we already do, besides the normal catchphrases and mottos that our family has, like, you know, taking it one wave at a time and respect the danger and never give up and wolf pack forever and all that stuff, what, live free, stay wild, all the things that we already say, which could probably fill a book, what would the motto be? What would a family motto be?
Well, my motto, my newest one is, if your opinion mattered, I'd care.
I think that's already in the book.
A family motto that we don't already use?
Yeah. Does your little wolf pack have a motto of its own?
Not really.
No?
Not really.
All right, so nothing sprung into mind?
Not really. I mean,
all right. I thought it was a curious question.
It is a curious one.
I thought it was a good question.
I'll think about that one.
All righty. What is a bush skill that you use all the time? A skill that you either learned in the bush or a skill that pertains to bush life and you use it all the time, even when you're not in the bush.
I would have to say the awareness of surroundings.
That is a good answer because a lot of people are not aware of their surroundings.
I'm one of those people that is always clocking danger no matter where I am or what I'm doing. I know the best way out, the best way in, and the most dangerous weapon around me, which is something that is definitely a bush skill. You have to know where the game trails are. You have to know where the creatures will be. You have to know the closest cover you can get behind, the quickest route out, and anything near you that can become an improvised weapon.
That is a skill, and that's an underutilized skill for a lot of people. It's a major overlooked skill. Like, you should always know where the exits are, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Never in a room that I don't know where all the exits are. Very good, very good. Situational awareness. Yeah, nice. Which is definitely counts as a bush skill.
And a lot of people don't have that. They just don't do that.
A lot of people have it better than they think they do too. Like, I've known some people, like, they didn't think they did and they didn't realize, but they did because they, like, subconsciously realized where, like, exits and stuff were.
I've even talked to people like that about the whole, like, bush skill thing that comes up into it, right. Situational awareness. And half the time they can't tell me where the exit is. Like, I'm like, okay, close your eyes. They close and I'm like, where's the exit we walked in?
It's the same.
Where's the door we came in?
It's the same thing. Like, a lot of people don't know what's in their first aid kit.
Right.
They just do a first aid kit and they don't know. And
which way's north.
And you do not want to first find out what's in your first aid kit when you need stitches. Like, you want to know what's in there ahead of time.
I have Stop Bleed. It's this powder stuff.
The one I gave you.
Did you give it to me?
Yeah.
I have
military grade bleed stop powder. Yeah, that was.
I have that in my car door.
That's a gift I give to everybody.
Not in my med kit.
That's
in my car door.
That is a go-to gift that I give to everyone. I carry military bleed stop. That is the powder that they use for gunshot wounds and all kinds of injuries. I've personally used it before for an injury. It works very well, and it's a gift I give to everyone because everyone should have it.
It's a good gift. It's like duct tape.
Everyone should have it. Alrighty. Who would be the most likely to lose their keys?
Gabe.
Maybe we should exclude Gabe because everyone's going to say Gabe, including Gaby, because Gaby is definitely the most likely to lose his keys. So I guess I will accept that answer because it's an honest one. It is true.
Gabe lost keys that were attached onto his pants. Ask me how. Just
because he lost his pants. You set it up too well. I had to do it. All right. This is sort of a twofold. What is your favorite piece of gear? And what is your most useless piece of gear that you've ever carried? So what's your favorite piece of gear? And what is the most useless piece of gear that you've ever had?
Favorite piece of gear has to be a knife. It's versatile. And it's something I have on me at all times. So I'd say that would have to be my favorite one. If
we exclude the obvious of a knife, what's your favorite piece of gear? Like, it is not necessarily a common thing that people would think. What's your favorite, cool thing that you carry that is like a survival item?
Well, I usually have high tensile strength baling wire on me.
That's good.
I have baling wire and some ganyons, that sort of thing, because you can do a lot with.
Without strain, the world is chaos.
Right? So that's not a bad one.
Super simple, but very, very good answer. And what is the most useless thing that you've ever carried? What's the most useless piece of gear that you've ever had?
I don't carry useless things.
So what is the most useless?
If it's useless, then it should be discarded.
So what is the most useless? What's the lowest totem thing that you carry? What is the least used, the least utilized piece of equipment that you do have or have carried? Or that something that you used that you ended up discarding because it was useless? There you go. Which usually in bush life, there's no such thing as a useless item. Everything can be used in one way, shape, form, or fashion. But
well, you're talking to me, so it's like...
I thought this would be a question you probably wouldn't even be able to go with, because even if it's a horrible thing, he would still like it and still make it do something.
Give me an example.
Well, again, it's just because everything is kind of useful. It is
Are you
difficult
gonna blank
to
on
come
this
up
one?
with the most
You can't ask me a
useless
question you don't
that
have an
I-
answer for.
These questions are. I'm not. I'm the host. I'm not answering the
Give me an
questions. I'm
example.
giving the questions.
Give me an example.
Well, actually, I had one, but I had kind of forgot. Oh, here's just the ticking clock in the back. I don't know because all of the gear. Maybe I should just stuck with what's your favorite piece of gear. I know one of the best pieces of gear I've ever had is super simple. It's the string that I tied to the back of my glasses so they wouldn't fall off into the ocean.
My glasses have the.
But again,
ears.
string, which was his answer.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
All right, and that ends this round of questions.
All right, well, lightning round. Give me some questions.
I mean, that's all I have written out. That's all we have for this. And actually, we've been going for almost an hour. So if you're ready to call it an episode. I've enjoyed getting to sit down and ask you the questions, put you on the spot, spotlight on you.
Well, do you have any other questions?
And in this instance, want to hear what you have to say.
It's unusual, right? It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have any off the
cuff
of your head questions that you thought of while doing it or anything, this time.
Right. Well, I would ask, and this is a pretty basic one, of the things that you miss about life in Alaska, what are you looking forward to the most with your upcoming Alaska trip, with going up to Alaska? What are you looking forward to the most?
Watching the tide come in.
Ooh, good one. I miss that. But I'm a sailor, so
Yeah.
I miss every aspect of the ocean.
Yeah, watching the tide come in. Because my place is an island. I'm right on the beach.
Nice.
So I'd say that.
Well, you have the fresh water too, and you're gonna be on the ocean and have the seafood and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Well, I am also curious, how close to fully livable is the house that's on your island? Like, how fixed up do you have it? Do you have it like basically good to go, or is there like a lot of work to be done?
It needs some work, but it is in good condition compared to what we've lived in.
All right.
We've lived in worse.
But it has potential.
Precisely.
Nice. Does it hit wood heat?
It has a massive wood stove. The wood stove is significantly too big for the house.
Okay, nice.
Now there's enough dead lumber on the.
I was gonna say there's probably
that I
enough
get
deadfall
plenty
that
of
you can
firewood.
just, yeah.
And one of the big things I actually want to do is take down all of the widowmakers and clear up everything.
As soon as you said wood stove, that's exactly where my mind went.
I want to manicure the island.
Nice.
I'm taking a rake with me.
Nice.
Because I'm going to manicure the island entirely. I'm even going to go so far as even on the beach, because it's a massive tidal flat, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like massive. It's hundreds of feet long, the tidal flat
right.
is on it. So there's a portion that's gravel. I'm literally just going to go through, clean up the gravel, anything that might have washed ashore, and Keller coat the gravel. That way it gets a lighter Keller the further up you
Gonna go full Mr. Miyagi.
Full Mr. Miyagi. I'm going to make it. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
I'm going to prune the bushes and the whole bit.
Very good. That's
might as well, cool. Right?
Yeah, that's cool. Does it have a dock, or is it you anchor off?
It doesn't have a dock.
Are you able to build a dock on it if you want to?
I can if I had the proper permits for it.
Okay, that was another question. Because I know where it is. I've seen it on a map and stuff, but I'm unfamiliar with the.
Anytime you're dealing with the dock or anything, you have to.
Well, if you're dealing with something that touches the ocean,
anything below low tide, you need to get a permit from DNR.
All right, but with you just having a skiff and stuff, it's not even really.
No,
just pull that up onto the beach because you just said you've got a good pebble beach.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
If it's a high enough tide, I can get the boat pulled right up into this little nook that has. It's super cool. It's literally this little alcove on the island that has like trees covering it and stuff.
Very cool.
And the entire island is covered in abalone shells because there's a lot of otters in the area.
Abalone.
There's a lot of otters in the area, so they actually will get the abalone shells, eat the stuff, and just like leave them. So it's like right there. One of my plans when I'm there is actually to carve abalone shells into like jewelry and things.
Very cool. And it's cool that you have a Pebble Beach like that, and it's not just rock because a lot of places up there it's like just solid rock or rock
A lot of
walls,
it's
and
rock.
even the beaches are like the jagged rocks and everything.
Most of
Up
the
there, the
island
best you
is.
can hope for is a nice pebble beach, a nice gravel beach, as opposed to, there really no such thing as a sand beach in Alaska.
There's a couple black sand
Super
beaches,
rare, and
but
even
rare.
those don't run down them
No.
barefooted because it's not a good idea.
Yeah, most of the island is surrounded by like cliffs of insanity type of
Right.
rock. But there's this one portion where the tidal flat is that has this like gravel, and it's just beautiful.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And you're headed out pretty soon to do that, right?
About 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And your trip, you actually said you're not going the ferry route. You're going to be
I'm driving
through Canada to where you're leaving here in northern Washington,
Driving
and
through
take us
British
on the trip.
So I'm going to be leaving here, driving through British Columbia, and going to Haines. And then from Haines, I'm going to be able to ferry down to Ketchikan. And then from Ketchikan, I can catch the ferry out towards where my island is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And when you do that, since you'll be driving and then taking the ferry, and I'm assuming you're taking your truck?
Yes. I prefer to take something that got better gas mileage, but my options are slim.
Right. It's that or the motorcycle.
Exactly.
You can't hold much on the motorcycle.
I can't take the boat I have to take on a motorcycle.
Right.
I have a lot of gear I need to get to the island first off.
Mm-hmm.
So
where do you leave the truck?
the truck will be left on Prince of Wales Island.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be able to get someone to tow me out. It's a bit of a trip, but...
Yeah, you can't take that skiff across Clarence. That would be a really bad idea. That would not be a good idea. I know that stretch of water pretty good, and you do not want to be bobbing around it in that thing. That
Very
tiny
true.
little skiff you have. No, that would not be advisable at all. It's a beautiful stretch of water. It's just it's kind of treacherous. It's a little dangerous.
It'll be good. Once I'm on the island, there won't be a problem.
No, and your island's kind of protected where it is. And
Yeah.
everything. Which was my next question, because from the map, it looks rather protected. When storms come blowing in, how bad does it get hit?
The house is on the side away from the wind, thankfully.
Right.
So it shouldn't be too bad. And
so it sees a little weather, but it's not like right down the chute.
Well, the time that I'm going is the best time to be able to be there, the less likelihood of storms and whatnot.
Right.
So I'm going like strong summer months.
Okay. And when was the last time you were there?
With Eli a couple years back.
So it was a couple
the
years
last
ago.
time we filmed.
All right. And that's the last time you've been in Alaska, too?
Yes.
Last time I was in Alaska was before Mom's cancer diagnosis, because I left for 2 weeks. I was just going to be gone for 2 weeks.
Right.
And that's when Mom's cancer diagnosis came down. And I met up with because she had to, you remember, she had to hurry down to start treatment. And I met up with the family in Los Angeles. So I never went back to Alaska.
You want to come with?
I never went back.
You want to come with?
So when I left Alaska, I didn't know I was leaving forever. I left for 2 weeks and never went back. It's tempting, but I'm
That's
super busy.
what I would tell my 15-year-old self. Don't leave Browntown.
I know, it'd be bad advice, though. Going with the family and stuff,
If I knew then what I know now, I would have left Browntown. I would have gotten us swapped over, and I would own Browntown right now instead of owning the island.
That counts as financial advice.
It's life advice.
That counts as financial
Don't
advice.
leave Alaska.
I think that counts as financial.
Stay in Alaska.
Stay in Alaska. Well, on that note, that does bring me around to a question. Is there anything about life in northern Washington that you like better than living in Alaska?
The easier accessibility of supplies.
Okay.
The gear, equipment, and supplies and whatnot for projects is a lot easier here.
Right.
And the ability to be able to go for a ride on a motorcycle.
Right.
Can't do that up on
On
my
an island.
However, I could leave it on Prince of Wales. That's not a bad idea.
No, Prince of Wales would be a nice place to have a bike. There's a lot of road.
So one
out
of my plans is actually to go to all of the old campgrounds and stuff.
Oh, really? I was actually just about to ask if you had any plans to visit any of the old stomping grounds.
All of them. I'm even heading back to Sweetwater.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice. I know that's on. I believe that's on Bear's list.
That's what he was saying.
He wants to do that. He was always very fond of that area. Too.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place. I have some really good photography from that area.
Yeah,
it's beautiful sunsets when the sun setting down over the lake. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, if you want to go to Alaska with me, you can.
Not this time. Not this time. We got too much to do. Staying way too busy. Lots of work. All right, bro. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
This has been good. Are there any questions that you didn't answer you want me to circle back to?
Not that I can think of, but you can
All right.
over if you want.
No, I think we're good. If you couldn't answer the first time, you're probably not going to be able to the second time. So.
True.
All right, guys. So I hope you all have enjoyed. I hope you all guys have enjoyed the podcast and listening to us just ramble about everything, anything, and nothing all at the same time. That could be a new family motto.
That's an apt description.
All right, guys. We will see y'all next time. Stay safe, and remember to always respect the podcast. All righty.